Did the gods really control everything in ancient Rome? Imagine this. It's 2,000 years ago, and you're walking through the streets of Rome. Before leaving your house in the morning, you say a small prayer. Going to war, you pray to one god. You're about to set sail, you pray to another. Even to protect your home, you would ask a different god for help. The people of ancient Rome, the gods weren't just figures worshipped in temples. They were believed to be present in almost every part of everyday life. Today we're taking a closer look at the fascinating religious beliefs of ancient Rome. When most people think of Rome, they picture gladiators, massive arenas, and powerful emperors. Behind all that greatness was an incredibly strong religious tradition. Romans believed that many events in nature happened according to the will of the gods. Rainfall, abundant harvests, victories in battle, or even devastating disasters were all seen as messages from the gods. What's especially interesting is that the Romans didn't believe in just one god. They worshipped many different gods and goddesses. The most powerful of them all was Jupiter. Jupiter was considered the king of the gods, the ruler of the sky, and the god of thunder and lightning. Whenever an emperor had to make an important decision, or an army was preparing for a major battle, sacrifices were offered to seek Jupiter's favor. His wife, Juno, was the goddess of marriage, women, and family. The ruler of the seas was Neptune. Since sea trade was extremely important to Rome, sailors would pray to Neptune before setting out on long voyages. A violent storm was often believed to be a sign that Neptune was angry. When it came to war, the god everyone turned to was Mars. Today we know Mars as the name of a planet. But to the Romans, Mars was the god of war, strength, and military power. According to Roman mythology, Romulus and Remus, the legendary founders of Rome, were believed to be the sons of Mars. That's one reason Roman soldiers honored him with great respect and loyalty. There was also Minerva, the goddess of wisdom. Artists, craftsmen, and students prayed to Minerva for success. In other words, almost every profession, every need, and nearly every aspect of life had its own divine protector. But how exactly did the Romans worship these gods? Their way of worship was quite different from many religions today. For them, the most important thing was maintaining a good relationship with the gods. Animals were sacrificed in temples, wine was offered, incense was burned, and elaborate ceremonies were held. If even the smallest mistake happened during a ritual, the entire ceremony had to be repeated from the beginning. The Romans believed that the gods expected absolute perfection. One of the most fascinating parts of their religion was divination. The Romans believed that the gods constantly sent signs. Priests sometimes watched the flight patterns of birds, while at other times, they examined the internal organs of sacrificed animals to predict future events. It may sound strange today, but back then, even some of the empire's most important political decisions were influenced by these signs. As the Roman Empire expanded, it came into contact with many different cultures. Surprisingly, the Romans usually didn't reject the gods of other civilizations. Instead, they often welcomed foreign gods into their own religious system. They were especially influenced by Greek mythology. For example, the Greek god Zeus became Jupiter in Roman religion, Poseidon became Neptune, and Ares became Mars. Although the names changed, their roles and characteristics remained remarkably similar. Another fascinating aspect of Roman religion was the respect shown to emperors. In certain periods, successful or deceased emperors were officially declared divine, and temples were built in their honor. As a result, religion and political power became closely connected. However, Rome's religious beliefs eventually underwent a major transformation. Christianity gradually spread throughout the empire. In the beginning, Christians faced persecution and were often punished harshly. But over time, everything changed. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine embraced Christianity, and the old polytheistic belief system slowly began to disappear. The gods who had shaped Roman life for centuries gradually gave way to a completely new religious order. Today, the magnificent temples of ancient Rome may look like nothing more than ancient ruins. But thousands of years ago, they were places where countless people placed their hopes, fears, and prayers before the gods.